Hi friends, this is Angelica with Planner Beat. Welcome to today's video, and that is my Halloween 2025 project book setup. I'm going to do a flip through in this first part, and then I'm going to show you how I schedule out my Halloween party in the next section. And if there's any more sections here, I'll put it in the description box below, timestamp, so you can jump through and look at things that you might be interested in case you don't want to hear me ramble a lot. Anyways, I made this book this year. I just used some scrapbook paper that I got from scrapbook.com. If any of this stuff is still available, I'll leave it in the links below so you can check it out. I tried my hardest, but you can see it's not cut straight. It's not laminated completely, but I just loved it, and I kind of wanted to keep it a little longer. And usually that's what the idea with lamination is it'll preserve the image, but who knows how long this will last, but it's lasted so far. I created this book in June of this year, and I started using it in July. So Halloween for me is multiple segments. It's a big decoration of my house. I do a Halloween party for my niece and nephew and other kids. We do a little cookie decorating party. And I also go to local little events, and we go to a giant pumpkin patch. So there's a little bit of multiple elements. It's not just trick-or-treating or anything. So I create little project books, and if you're new to my channel, that's what I do is I create little project books, and that includes the notes, planning, and everything else related to the project. And the idea is to keep it contained in one book, so all my reference materials, everything is together, so when it's planning time and time to execute, the resource is right here in front of me, and I know where it goes. I create it to navigate the process so I don't get lost, and I enjoy the holiday. So I also use my personal rings, my Filofax. In the month of October, I am in my black personal Holborn zip. Now, these are discontinued so far. You never know. Sometimes Filofax brings back their old designs. I got this several years ago, I believe either on eBay or through an Instagram sale. So I use them. You'll see that, how I use my Filofax in this segment where I'm party planning, so jump to that. You can see that. We'll share that. I'm just going to go through the book today, and I will also be bringing my old book in for certain sections so you can see what it looks like completed. So opening up the book, I just have a little introduction, not really introduction, a little cute sticker, but the introduction is on this side. And for me, I like to have the spread in both sides. So I don't typically have any planning just on one side. Typically not. Just that, you'll see how it works out here in a minute. So my introduction page, and the theming of this book this year is just vintage Halloween. Excuse me, I have a cat screaming outside my window. That's not my cat. She's sleeping. But anyways, so it talks about this current Halloween, what's different, and what I'm doing and what I have done to get ready for this Halloween in this book. That's just for me. It's kind of fun, and it's a way to use this side of this flip out. And the flip out is my month on a glance. And the idea with my flip outs, if you're new to any of my project little books here I have on my channel, is wherever I'm at in my book, I can have that at a glance, any section, I can have that visible to me, so I don't have to flip back and forth all the time, and so I don't miss things. And it's super cute. Let me look at that. So we'll get to this section here in a minute. So we're currently, today is actually the 21st. I haven't blocked off this one yet. So September 21st. I'm actually really pretty much done with what I had pre-planned. When we go into the party planning in the next segment, I'll add a little bit more stuff with my rings in that segment. So this is kind of like the central command of the book. I have any running task list for Halloween as a whole, or the book as a whole, in this section, along with these super cute little notepad. And oh, this one was a Target notepad, like the little magnetic ones for the fridge. And this one was from TJ Maxx, a couple years old. They're probably not even thinking about being available. That's how old they are. I had a countdown for Halloween. I had started this book I created it in June and started planning with it in July. The little countdowns. We're almost there, people. We're like pretty much almost the last full week of September. It's like, but luckily I'm done with most of my stuff. And on this side, excuse me, I have any upcoming month. So on the back of the book, I kept the old months. So here's July. Here's what my July monthly did look like, and my August. And these are just giant sticky notes. Just put ka-chow. And so when I started the book in July, I had August, September, October on this side. So it's already filled out, already ready for me to go. So when we get a little bit closer, I won't probably pull out September until either this Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll pull off these and then cut this and put it here. But that's the idea with having, like I said, the idea is to create a system where it's as contained as possible. And it makes it fun. So when it's like time for planning for Halloween, I just bust this book open and I created the reference sheets and everything for myself. So I'm just working in this book. It's kind of like your math book, right? At school, it has your math book. It has your learning criteria, your little weekly assignments, maybe a chapter quiz, the section quiz. It's all in one book. So that's the idea with this. The next section, which is pretty dark, you can't really see, but 2025, and these are my planning sheets. And the idea with my planning sheets, if you're new around here, is I pre-plan, I take, Halloween as a whole, and then I plot it out in the future months to see where I want to get certain things done and where I have to get certain things done in order to move on to the next maybe subsection. Halloween this year wasn't as heavy as last year. If you saw that setup last year, it's linked below. Go check it out. Because I was delaying on the party planning because I had my wisdom teeth. I procrastinated, guys. I'm turning 40, God. But I wanted to make sure I had the money. I had money for the party. That's what it says, nail down decision. Oop, can't see that. Nail down decision, Halloween party or not. Luckily, my insurance covered a lot of it, and then I got a bonus this month, so we're gonna go ahead and do the party planning. Go check that segment out. It'll be linked down in the timestamps below, but it should be the next segment after this. So, but another big thing I had is for Halloween, but not for this book per se, is I'm going to Disneyland. This week, and that's the week of my birthday. I'm super excited. So the goal for me then for this book was I wanted to get all of my decorating done, all of my Halloween decorating done up before October, and I got that done. Let's see here, I'll put it in the back of it. I started that. Let's go in the decorating section here. I started that August 24th, which, Shazam! Okay, so I had my niece and nephew come over, and they helped me pull everything out, and then I just did my first section here, the end of August, and then I just ended up finishing it the 3-day weekend of Labor Day, because I was in the mood, so it was pretty much up and ready, like September 1st. So, yay for me. That is what that looked like. And we'll go back into my sheets because I'm still talking about that. And so I had the leftover money. So I went ahead and decided to do the party for this year because my best friends and her kids have been looking forward to it. And this may or may not be my last party. I'm not sure. But because they were looking forward to it, I had the money, so we're going to go ahead and do that this year. And what else we got going on these sheets? So Disneyland, yay. I ended up getting Oogie Boogie tickets. Yay. Hopefully I'll have a Disneyland planner set up because that also has portions of Halloween in it too. At least, elements of it. And what else we got on these sheets? This section I keep blank because obviously it's November, December. Look at that cute bat. How adorable is that? Oh, I probably haven't said it in this segment, but these stickers were from like a little kit on scrapbook.com. If it's still available, I'll leave it linked. But you see this image especially in a lot of different brands, and that's because this is a public domain image. That means after 100 years, anything you create then belongs to the public, so it can be used without giving credit to the original artists. If you didn't know, now you know. Anyways, the back of this page is one of my new favorites that I kind of like forgot that I created, and then I'm like, duh. I did that in my Christmas video last year, and that's creating a timeline. What does Halloween look like to me at an entire snapshot? What have I been doing, and what am I doing, and what's getting done? So the first thing was getting the Halloween book set up. I had my wisdom teeth, and then decor up before Labor Day. And then I also had to put Christmas stuff on here because I started my Christmas baking early too. Because in that section, if you go check that out, Christmas 2025 setup is I do a lot of baking. So I had to get that done, and sometimes the projects will overlap. The whole season overlaps for me, so I'm doing Halloween stuff at the same time Christmas stuff. So I wanted to put that on here. Halloween stuff is also in my Christmas book too, where it has to be done at the same time or overlap. And then right here I said this time in September is when I really wanted to kneel down and say, hey, decide if I'm doing a party or not. Yes, we have this pumpkin patch. It's a giant pumpkin patch near me. We got that. We're going next weekend. I'm super excited for that. So that's part of the festivities. And then I have my reminder here, I'm in Disneyland. And if we might go to a smaller pumpkin patch closer in town when we actually get pumpkins. We don't get pumpkins here. We just go for the fall harvest festival and fun and everything else. But I may or may not get a pumpkin for me, for solo. The kids I talk about are my niece and nephew. They lived with me for about 10 years, them and their mother, and then my sister, and she finally got a place this year. And so I'm an empty nester, so things have been a little different for me this year, but I may or may not have one pumpkin at my house. Who knows? Anyways, this sign I keep is for future planning for next Halloween. And I did that in my book from last year. Let me grab it here. Yeah, last year's book. And I had a section in here for 2025. I'm going to be gentle here because some things are not punch. And for 2025, for when I was creating this book for 2024's page for this year, future planning. And it was really great because there was just reminders when I was setting up this book. And I went through, I just haven't checked this off, what worked, what didn't work, and having this as a reference was supreme in getting this year's project Halloween book set up. So that's the idea for this page. So if anything I think of for next Halloween, actually I could put it right now. I'm not sure if I want to continue the Halloween, and I spelled it, whatever. We're free forming it, man. Halloween party for 2026 just because of the money. And if I do, it might just be a meal or something with the fam. So that's just rough. That's something I'm thinking about for next Halloween. So that's the idea with having that page in this book for next year. And Halloween this year is Friday and next year is Saturday. So that's going to be crazy, right? How many parties going to be out happening next year for the adults? This was my brain dump page that I went through first before I even created this book. I used my little breakdowns in my last year's book and kind of said, this is what this book is. Okay, rambling aside, the main sections of of the book is, which you can't see, sorry about that, decor, party, budget, and notes. All my planners, I keep the actual planning stuff, like the scheduling and everything. I like to keep it in the front of my books. That's the same in my Filofax. And then like the breakdowns and of the actions and the activities and the project management will go in the following subsections. So decorating. Show you how cute is that. Again, the scrapbook paper from scrapbook.com. Just multiple different collections. I had a certain theme I was going to stick to, and then it just kind of took off from there. So here's what the decorating section looked like. I had it broken down in the main areas of my house. And what happened this year was I wanted to do different lights for my dining room. I was going to do like all black in my dining room, and I wanted to grab purple lights. But I started so early. None of the stores, in which they normally, at least around me, they normally used to do it like the week or two before Labor Day. They used to start getting their stuff out, and I thought they would have it out, but they didn't. They didn't have anything out when I was decorating, that week for the purple lights, because I was going to do the black with the purple. So I just decided to do all orange lights in my house, and it actually turned out very great. It looks fantastic. If I throw in a clip, I'm not sure, but it turned out great. So that it worked out. But the idea with this side, so I like to keep, I said earlier, I like to keep my planning like this, both sides at a full glance. I don't like things to continue on the second side. If it was this, I didn't want my activity log to be on the back. That's just me. That's just how I've been working in these project designs that I made, these project books. But I take from wherever on this side, the visual aid that's telling me it might not be step one, but it's whatever I want to get going first. And now I'll grab it and I'll put it over here. And then when it's time to get it scheduled, I put it in my Filofax. I show you how I do that in the party planning section. So go check that out. But anyways, so I continue to do that. I'll continue to pull, put it on, pull, put it on. And then I like to keep a little timeline. And this was especially helpful in planning for this year. Let me grab last year's book. And so I can see just how long it took me to get things done. So I'm going to go into decorating. Did I keep it like that? Maybe not. Maybe I did the timeline this year, but anyways, it keeps me going. It keeps me to see when I'm partying when I'm scheduling for the upcoming. I think okay, so I did it kind of like this with the minutes and everything. This actually I think was from my Christmas book, but anyways, so I know how much time 1 year it took me to get things done. So I know if I need it's going to be a entire weekend process. How's my energy levels? Am I willing to spend that much time? Can I break it down? I typically kind of break it down by little spots and rooms, and so that helps me a little bit. So I like to start with I do a Day of the Dead window, and is it in here? Yeah. So it looks like this. It looks like that. It's in pencil, but I have like a poster I made for my nephew years ago. Like I think he was 2 or 3 when the movie Coco came out, and I made this poster board with the sugar skull design, and so I kept it. It's falling apart. It's seen better days. But anyways, this is my kitchen window. And then I have these, I may or may not throw in a clip. I'm not sure. But I have these paper flowers here I put on the sides. So I did the sketch, and I end up doing just the same design every year. And that's because I'm Hispanic, and that celebrates the heritage for the time. It's Dia de los Muertos is the week of Halloween. And then goes into All Saints Day and all that stuff. So that it stays up, and then it'll come down after that. So that's the only kind of thing. And then I have like skulls and stuff like that, sugar skulls, but that's that. So once I put that up, that's kind of like my first thing that gets me into the momentum and the excitement of decorating for Halloween. And yes, I start so early. The idea is start as early as I can so I can get it up and done before October, because I break it down. I don't beat myself if I don't get it up by September, but the idea is get it up so I have longer time to enjoy it. I do have years of decorations that I have, and I want to be able to enjoy them as long as I can during the season. So that's the decoration section. And I had a page for inventory. It was last year's page and this year's, and I still haven't done inventory. It's obviously not a big deal for me, but if I wanted to like catalog that, I created the page. This cute Hocus Pocus papers from that notebook I just showed. The party section I'm not going to go through because we're going to go through that in that next clip. And I'm actually filming this clip because my camera died after I've already filmed that clip. So I don't want to show that to you in this clip. You go check that one out. It'll be right after this. Right after that. So we'll go into the budget section. Here's the budget. Oh, let's look at I guess you see the back of the recipe for my cookies, but whatever. Budget. And that just opens up to the budget, and I just kind of pick a number and then go by category. This year, people, we're in September and I haven't bought a single decoration piece. That's insane. I'm just tired of stuff, honestly. I'm in that phase of my life. So what I did from last year was obviously I used last year's spending to determine what this year's spending might look like. So I'm going to go in here after things fall out. Budget from 2024. And I just use the same layout I designed. Let me put this stuff in here. The same layout I designed. So this is what it looks like when it's going to be filled out. I just wanted to kind of see what I'm spending each month for Halloween. And then I go through the category breakdowns and stuff like that on the actual spend sheets. So this is what the spend sheets are going to look like. I only bought one thing so far, and that was tickets for the big pumpkin patch. So that's what that looks like. I haven't filled out the rest of it because probably laziness, but anyways, so I take my category breakdowns from the first page. I guess that one was at the first page. From the first month at a glance. So the starting numbers get here, and then as I spend stuff, I use a little side here to have the math to break it down. And then the blue is the remainder, so the 1059, and then that gets transferred to the next month so I can see where I'm at. And that's the idea with the spend sheets. I do this style in my Christmas book and in my everyday spending too, but that's last year's. How cute is that? I love that. These stickers were, I think, from Michael's. But that's what it's going to look, this year's going to look like after, when I start getting more spending and money. So, gotta be careful with this book because some of the punches is a little off from my laminating my dividers. But this year for my spending, I wanted to make it as a low, I have it here, you've probably been looking at it, a low spend. So I think that's why I haven't bought any decorations. Like I said, of course, the stores were late. I like going to the online stores like Vintage Halloween, I think Christmas Traditions and stuff like that. Excuse me. I'll take a drink here. But nothing just like jumped out at me so far, right? It can change. I think if anything, I might get some purple lights like I've been talking about. And maybe some lights from my office at work. I haven't decided. But so far, right now, it's only those Halloween tickets that I spent for. And we're already like in almost the last week of September. So I just have some blank pages. I'm not going to waste this page. I'm just going to put I'm just going to continue using it where last year I did by month and stuff like that. But I'm just going to keep using it. And these pages were actually, you can tell, they were scanned from my Happy Planner budget planner. And I just kept it on my computer, and then I just print them out for these project books as I need it. The next little section here is called status, and it's another little flip out. And let me go into our sheets here so you can see that. It looks better here. Okay, so the idea with this flip out was it was a Kanban board, and it's pretty much the idea is to see your to-dos you're working on and your dones all in one spot. And it was pretty much all my decoration. That was my big project thing. Like I said, at that time, I wasn't planning on doing, or wasn't ready for party planning or thinking it would get done. So I didn't add that bar, but I may or may not do this again in future video or future project books. It was fun when I first created it, and I was kind of doing it, but I just stopped looking at it. One thing I won't stop doing is creating a timeline. I love the timeline. I'm like obsessed with it. So I did the benchmarks I wanted to hit by certain months, and then the orange highlight is where I'm currently. I'm like getting closer and closer and closer to my Disneyland. And then I have swan trails, and I'm gonna put just yes because we're going. And the pumpkin patch and party, and this was the time I was thinking of the party. So yay, I'm on track for that. So that is the status section. As this cute little witchy, vintage witchy, and it says which way to the candy. How cute is that? Like I said, it was going to be themed out into one theme like I did with my Christmas book, but then I just started grabbing stuff and went for it, and it's not very cohesive, but whatever. So that the page is just attached to Hocus Pocus page by washi tape, so it can fold onto itself when I don't need it. It's closed, and then I could just gently use the tab here to just lift with the thumb and pull it out, and then it goes back on. That's the idea. So obviously it had to be cut down a little bit more so it can have the clearance to not hit the rings when it's shut or open. So yay. And then the last section is the notes, which I quickly showed when I was going through the months. Just some little fun pumpkins. And I kept, this was helpful because I kept it in my book last year. The old months, I usually just trash the old months, but it was kind of helpful to see, what was I able to do last July? So I kept those, and these are just, like I said, giant sticky notes. And then just blank paper if I needed to just cut down from whatever happy planner thing that kind of looked Halloweenish. I really didn't want to. I don't know about you. I get greedy with my stuff. I get greedy with myself with my stuff, and I just don't want to use it all up. Especially if it's like a limited edition, like this Hocus Pocus stuff was. So I didn't want to use all my Hocus Pocus stuff for this type of scratch off notes. And it kind of goes looking kind of nice, and stickers and stuff, so I make it themed out. Anyways, so that's the setup. The next section we're going to go into is actually scheduling, so you can see how I use this book to get things done and to schedule them out in my Filofax. Let's plan my Halloween party. The tools I'm using are my Halloween planner, my Filofax personal rings I use for scheduling events. We are also going to be looking at my month at a glance, my master monthly wall calendar that I keep in my face at all times. I previously did the setup in the previous clip, so use the timestamps to jump around. This is just for people who want to see how I plan out my Halloween party. So my Halloween party is a cookie decorating party. I've done it for years for my niece and nephew, and these past couple years my friends had kids, so they bring their kids over and we decorate little cookies and kind of get the season kicked off, and I also serve a lunch. So in my party section of my planner, I created a visual aid, a snapshot of the entire ordeal and the steps I need to take in order to make that happen. So it's not in particular order. I just divided it into sections. So I talked about here on this page, what I need to do to get prepared for the cookie decorating is I needed to inventory current supplies, make shopping lists, schedule time to shop. These are what I need for the decorating for the frostings. I use like the pre-made stuff. It works. It's awesome. Tables I need from work, I can't say that. Forks, knives, and spoons and stuff I need to do to prep for that, to schedule in my Filofax, is I need to have a prep schedule first list. And that's when I'm going to set up the tables, when I'm going to get the supplies, and party time, people. Heck yeah. And then part of that is the pre-bake schedule. I'm going to pick a day when I'm going to bake the pre-baked cookies, because I pre-bake these sugar cookies. Phenomenal. I love them. Everybody loves them, but I put them in the freezer, so I don't have to bake. I'm not putting too much stress on myself the week of the party. I got to pick a date for the party, which we're going to do in today's video, schedule and bake the actual cookies. And part of the getting ready too is I'm going to create a Facebook event page. I'm not going to show that in today's video because I just, never mind, you know. But I'm going to schedule myself to do that. I currently have a guest list of my family here, so I know how much pizza and stuff to get, confirm the number of people, and I'm going to schedule myself to do that in my Filofax. And then the recipe for the soup. One year I made this big giant pot. It's a Olive Garden copycat. And because I was like freaked out that I didn't have enough pizza, and ended up more people were eating the soup than the actual pizza. But the kids sometimes are finicky about, you know, like, seeing kale in the soup, so they won't, whatever. So we'll do the pizza for the kids and stuff. The adults can eat pizza too. All right, so let's get this party going. Like I said, I'm going to be using, you're going to watch me use my Filofax scheduler to put these tasks and events in my book here, and I'm gonna be using my master monthly calendar, which I keep in front of my face at all times, so I can, as I'm talking through, we can see an actual bigger timeline of what I need to get going. So let's do that right now while I have everybody here. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Some people might want to watch. I have a little cut notepad paper, which I had at the beginning of the book, which I showed in the setup. So I got that. So right here, so the first thing I want to do, I'm going to pick a date. And I usually don't, that's usually not the first thing I do. I kept this party on the back burner this year because I had things I wanted to get done, and I wasn't sure if I had the money for it this year. And the drive actually to do it this year. I'm kind of pooped out from it. It does take a lot. I do all this for everybody out of the goodness of my heart, but it has been getting expensive. And since the kids have moved out, I don't have a lot of people to help me. So I wasn't for sure if I was going to do that. So on this side of my planning sheets, I have here that it was depending on if the Halloween party or not, was depending on the amount I spent for my wisdom teeth removal this year. Look, it didn't cost as much as I had thought, and I also got a bonus, and my best friend's been talking about the party, and her kids are excited, so I was like, we'll go ahead and do one more party. So this one might be my last. So that's why I hadn't chosen a date and hadn't gotten this stuff earlier done than I normally do, like last year's book set up and everything. So, but we're going to do that today, and today is September the 21st. So we're going to plan out this party, get going, because I also have to plan around when I'm leaving for Disneyland. Yeah, that's part of my Halloween. I'm super excited. Okay, so what I decided as I was sitting here before the video, since I'm coming back, I know I'm going to be pooped out this whole entire week. It's like not probably going to happen. So I was thinking either, it has to be a Sunday because that's when everybody's off. If you can see it, I don't want to zoom in too much. So the Sundays are either the 12th, or excuse me, not the 12th because that's Disney. And I just said I don't want to do that because I'm going to be tired. So I'm just going to do this Sunday, the 26th. That's like the week of Halloween. I don't know if everybody has anything going on. I know, my immediate family doesn't. I don't know if my best friends do it, but I decided they can't make it, and they can't make it. It goes on, and it'll be the last one. So I'm going to circle here on my planner 26, and then I'm going to put down here, give room in case I have some other stuff that comes up. October 26th, party time. Party time. And I like doing my parties during the daytime, lunch. That way it gets done, over with, And because there's kids that come, that way they have the rest of the day to recoup and go to bed early or whatever. And plus, I am not a night owl anymore. I'm old lady. I like getting my stuff done during the day. People don't like that, then they just don't come. Because it's my party. I'm the one throwing it. I'm paying for everything. So, you know what? Tough. All right, so let's go back into the party section. And that was October 26th. October 26th. And then I'm going to say about probably 11 a.m. to 12-ish. We'll see. It depends on when pizza's places open. So that's the idea of that. I'm going to put that in my Filofax. Let's go. Let's go into my rooms. So October 26th. That was a quick flip of my Halloween decorating this year. Grab a red pen because anything time sensitive or like it needs my calls my attention, I like to put in my red in my planner. So I guess I didn't have to write that down. Party at 11 a.m. We're that and all the prep stuff we're gonna put in the sheets as well. So let's do that. I'm gonna take a sip of my Sprite because I'm talking through this. All right, so I got that. So I need to create a Facebook event page, and I can do that. Let's do that. Let's do that this Monday. So create, and this is Monday, September 22nd. Create Facebook page. Making sure you guys can see that. Halloween P. That is it. And 11. Cool. Put that back in there. Move these guys off to the side. And then part of when I create this event pages, I'm going to see how many people respond. It's namely my best friend and my other friends, and if the kids and stuff. That was mainly just so I can know how many chairs I'm going to need for borrowing from work. Okay. Now, what else can I do? Oh, I want to make a shop list because I already inventoried my supplies. I did that right before I sat down. So I'm going to make a shop list. And part of the things I need to be shopping for this early right now is the baking for the cookies. And I have the breakdown of what I need as far as frostings already down here. So I'm going to use this guy. I'm going to put Halloween bake shop list. And I have one orange already in stock, so I need one orange because I can spell, and it says 2 colors of each frosting, so 2 white, 2 black, which is the chocolate one. I get I think it's Betty Crocker, like the little Halloween vanilla already pre-made stuff frosting. And the black is like this really dark chocolate. It's super delicious. And it was a huge hit last time. So I'm going to do that again. And 2 green. And the green is really fun too. Kids like the monster green with eyeballs and stuff. And, okay, so this is 2 large tables. I did my inventory. I already have plenty of plates, napkins, and everything else from... I'm a hoarder for my Halloween stuff, guys. I go to Target and I buy it. I may or may not use it at times. I don't know if you do that with your stuff, but I'm nuts, man. So I have plenty of that. So cookie setup list. I kind of had cut it off on accident. But anyways, inventory current supplies. Yay. I can't check these the frosting colors off because I haven't bought them yet. But what I need, I made a shop list so I could check that off, make a shop list, and I need to schedule my time to shop, but I need to decide when I want to bake it. So let's bring out my monthly masters here. So like I said, today is September 21st. I have two full weeks before I'm going to be gone from Disneyland. So I am actually going to plan to shop and bake, I think, Saturday the 27th, because we're going to this huge pumpkin patch on Sunday. So I'm going to do that on the I'm going to schedule myself to do that, because I'd rather get it done and over with, so that when I come back from vacation, it's pretty much just, you know, all the little miscellaneous prep work and then food shopping. So let me do that. Let's get the rings again. So here's the week, and I said here the 27th, which is next Saturday, is when I want to shop for Halloween cookies. And then I'm gonna put bake in red, because I want to make sure that gets done, and bake cookies. So I have my recipe in my book from last year, so let me grab that. So I have that. Some of my stuff is falling out. Well, at least you get another look-sees here at my book last year. It's completed. These discs are metal, and some of the punching for my lamination is a little off, so it doesn't smoothly turn over. I guess I passed the party section. Right here. Here's the party section from last year, and I had it. Ta-da! So I'm just going to take this out. This is my sugar cookie recipe. Same what I do for my Christmas cookies. So I'm going to get that out. So my phone died and didn't realize it. I was chit-chatting it up. I had gotten this. I was on my struggle bus getting my recipe out of my last year's Halloween book. But here's my recipe for my Halloween. Actually, just the sugar cookies. They could be any... You theme it up how you decorate it, but that's that. And really, after I was looking through my inventory, what I just need is that 8-ounce cream cheese. So we have our list. We scheduled a time to shop right here on this next coming weekend of September the 27th. So I'm good for that. I'm gonna put this off to the side. I'll put this in this book in a minute. So put that off to the side. And the other thing I was scheduling when the camera died was when to get the tables and everything, and I scheduled that this Friday the 24th in my rings for October, because I don't need those weeks in advance, because a part of that too, so I put that right here. A part of that too is I need to make sure, after I created my Facebook event page, which we did previously, is I'm going to see how many confirm, so I can get that proper amount of chairs versus the chairs I have on hand with my dining room set and stuff like that. So that's that. So pre-schedule list, that would be the table setup, the get supplies, and the party time. So we're working through that. We're working on creating that. I can't create that for the tables or anything until I get the confirmation, which most likely won't happen until the following week, after I get everybody's yays or nays confirming in next week for September. So moving on. So pre-bake schedule, boom. Pick a date, boom. I haven't baked them yet, so I can't cross them off the list. So on the other side is the lunch. So after I confirm the amount of people, that's kind of how I'll gauge how much pizza I need. I could, which I'm just going to add it to the back of this list. Well, I'll keep it for the soup, my soup. So I typically don't have a lot of that. Now that the kids are moved out, I don't keep a lot of extra food on hand, because it's just me and I don't want to get it to wasted. So I'll put on the back of here Zupa, and I'll need chicken stock. And I usually use 2. I need sausage, and I usually use the country style, the ones that come in the loaf. It's a copycat Olive Garden recipe, the Zuppa Toscana. It's freaking delicious. Even the little kids like it, because The secret is the cream, and I use a whole carton of that. Okay, country style, and I just use one. I'm going to need bacon. I'll just check first before buying to see how much I have in stock, because I do keep a lot of bacon in the freezer. Potatoes, and I usually use 4 to 5 large russet, and then was 1 container. I think that was a pint of cream, and that's heavy whip. You can see that, yeah. And I need 1 large, I think I use white onion for that, onion. And then I need to check the garlic. Let's see, check my, I have my mince I keep in the fridge, mince amount in fridge first. So I can add kind of this onto my Filofax right now. We can do that. I want the food to be fresh, so I don't want to, let me put that right now, so we're doing party time. The kitty's head's in the way, but that's fine. Party and 11. So I want to keep the food fresh. So I might just do it on the 25th when I'm the day before to shop for the food items. So I need shop. And a lot of times I'll put it on a weekend, but if I'm feeling it during the week, you know, my work energy, everything's good, I could, just because it's on the 25th doesn't mean I can't pull it sooner. If I'm like, hey, you know, maybe Tuesday after work or something, or before work or whatever, however, my lunch break, I'm like, hey, I got energy, let's get this done now. But for right now, that's the latest I can do it, so I'm going to put it on there. Shop for soup. And I'm also going to need to order pizza. Just put that on there now. Order pizza. Even though I don't have the numbers yet for the people, that's still an activity. That's still something I need to get done. So sometimes some shops let you order it like that night before and like kind of schedule a time to pick it up. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to either do that, order pizza, or get the bacon, the take and bake at Papa Murphy's. I think I might do that too, because that's an awesome option. Because what I do, you get it, I put it in the fridge, it's all ready, and then the morning of, I get up and I just bake it, so it's ready to go. No one has to pick up anything. I don't have to be at the mercy of delivery drivers, or I usually send my sister to get it, or what have you. So yay, look at us planning out a party together. Okay, so that's the soup. I'm also going to need to get some drinks and stuff. So I'm going to put drinks. Yeah, I'll just use black. It's not a big deal. Drinks. I'm going to say for adults. I don't drink adult beverages. If you know, you know. That's just, I've been like that. That's just me. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't keep it in my house. But that's usually just like soda or whatever. Sodas for kids, and either soda or maybe juice. Even though if the soda's out, they love to have the soda. So that's usually, I do like, you know, maybe orange or like root beer. My niece loves root beer. So that I'm going to need, so I have drinks. Can you see that? Yeah. So drinks for kids, drinks for adults. Ice. My mom likes to drink ice water with lemon, so I'll get 1 lemon. And then she takes some leftovers so it doesn't get wasted. Okay, let's see, pizza. We already figured that out. Drinks. Pizza deal. Yep, we're going to look at this too. Pizza deals and for coupons. So, I'm going to look at, actually I'm going to put that. So the week I'm shopping, I'm going to put on Monday, just kind of keep my eyeballs out for pizza deals either Papa Murphy's or what have you. So we'll look at that. I'll schedule myself to start looking at that these upcoming days before I shop, so I can make sure we're keeping on budget, people. Because like I said, I'm the one who I and the goodness in my heart, I buy all this for everybody. So one thing I'm not going to do, and it's probably been like glaring at you in the eye with this orange highlight, is I'm not getting any party favors for the kids. They're kind of wasted. They opened them up. They're like, yay. I think it was more just for me because I love Halloween so much. I'm like, yeah, here, have it. They weren't. It was like candy and like little like eyeball toys and stuff. So I'm not going to do that this year because I reminded myself the cookies are the favors. They're taking those home. So yay. So I'm looking at the rest of my list here, and that's pretty much it. If I do a follow-up video, I'm not sure if I will or not. Maybe just kind of show the execution of that, of, you know, the day of. I have to, like I said, I have to be, I don't know if I said it in this clip or not. I have to be in the mood to film. Otherwise, it just doesn't turn out. And it's not fun for me that way. And then it's not fun for the viewers either. So on this side, like, this side is my, my tasks, my like visual running things of things that I'm doing, and then my activity log. So the first thing that we're going to be doing that I said here, the first thing that's coming up is the baking and the Facebook event. So I'm gonna put that on here just so I can see it in this book where I stand. So we're gonna say create Facebook event for the party, and then we're going to shop for Halloween bake supplies, and then we're gonna bake. So I'll see where I'm at, and then I'll pull after I get at least these 3 things done, which are the 3 things that I scheduled to get done first for the party, and then I go from there, and I see where I stand. There's not much, because I'm awesome, and it's really because I created this little snapshot here of things I need to get done for the party, and then I just kind of follow along. It might not be the first step of any of these, like I'm pulling, you know, I still have the tables and stuff, but you know, I did the inventory, blah, 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 blah. It's not step 1, but I'm pulling what I can do now and then putting that on my schedule. So as I'm checking these things off, I'm seeing what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? And that's what I'll put on this side. So that is it for the Halloween for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm filming these segments a little backwards, so might look a little weird when I do the setup of this book, but I was in the mood to start first with the party planning, and we got that done. I'm going to keep this list in here, and I'm going to grab it. I'll grab it when it gets closer to shop, and I put it in my Filofax here in my little shop section. I'll just punch it I'll either fold it or whatever. I'll punch it, and then now it goes along. Sometimes I'll just like throw it in the back of my planner and just take along. But for right now, I know where it's at. So I'm going to put this in here in this section, just so that, because that corresponds to the party. And then I'm going to grab the recipe. So when I bake, I just take this I'll either take this out of the book, or I'll take the book in there with me as I bake, so I can follow along. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll have more Christmas stuff as it comes through, and next year's setup, and we'll see where everybody's at and how everybody's doing. And I hope you stay tuned for the next one. Bye.